Hello, this is GeoTechland, and today I'll be taking a look at MX Linux. And so it's a Linux distro that has gotten very popular as of recent. So if I open up the web browser here, it's listed as being one of the more popular OSs the past 6 months according to DistroWatch. And DistroWatch usually doesn't mean that it's the more popular or the most used OS, but it's just getting a lot of buzz recently. And so I decided to take a look at MX Linux and see for myself what it has to offer. It bills itself as a mid-weight, simple, stable desktop OS. Usually when I review an OS, I tend to review Linux distros that aim to be easy for someone new to Linux, or even just easy to use in general. And this one is not necessarily advertised in that way. So to start, I'm gonna just briefly go over the theme. The theme itself looks pretty dated, nothing to get excited about really. The good thing is you can customize. So right now it's using Graybird MX17, and so I'm gonna switch it up here to Numix. Notice this doesn't really change much, the file manager here. This does change a little bit. I think it looks nicer with this, with like a dark theme. Okay, now we've got a real dark theme here. Just in general, I think it's okay. Once it goes to a dark theme, it looks nicer. It just doesn't have that ugly, boring gray look to it. You know, that reminds me of like Windows 95. Now the interesting thing here is that it has this layout here on the left hand side, and it's unique because usually, like with Ubuntu for example, it has a bunch of apps here, and then since it's using GNOME, on the top right here usually you'll have the indicators, you know, like the volume control and stuff like that. So this has everything all lumped on the left hand side, and it's actually not bad. At first I was like, it looks weird because it's like the apps here and then it's all shrinked up here. So visually it's not the most appealing, but functionally I think it makes sense. I noticed a couple quirks with this though. So first of all, let's say I wanted to pin an app, let's say Mahjong here. If I wanted to pin it here, I can't just right click the app and click add to panel. I actually have to go to the app here and add to panel, or even add to desktop or to favorites. And the weird thing is when I hit add to panel, it goes over here. And so I'm thinking, okay, that's weird. Going in the bottom of like the home or start button here, that's kind of a bad experience there. And I thought you could drag it and move it up here, but no, you gotta right click it, you gotta hit move, and then move it like that. So that's weird. That's definitely not a good experience there, and no big deal, but it definitely makes it not simple to use. The other thing to mention is that this OS is based on Debian, so you can expect this to be very stable. And besides issues with the layout and the panel, you know, usually Debian should be a good experience. I don't use Debian much. I've never really tested it, but Ubuntu is based on Debian, and so I just imagine it's very stable and very well tested. And so I asked myself the question, okay, so this is based on Debian. Debian tends to have older packages. I was just wondering, why is MX Linux popular? And so theme-wise, it's, you know, pretty standard, although the default theme looks kind of dated. And even though this layout's pretty interesting, and, you know, in terms of functionality, everything being lumped on the left hand side is fine, but it has those weird quirks that make it feel not so stable. it makes me ask myself though, why are people using it? And I honestly can't answer that question. This is very set up to be very professional, very productivity friendly. This is a fairly productive layout or panel here. If you wanted something stable, you would go for like an Ubuntu derivative, which is based on, Debian. If you wanted like a mid-weight desktop environment, let's say GNOME is too heavy for you, then a lot of people are going for Ubuntu Mate or Ubuntu Mate, however you want to pronounce it, or even like a lightweight Ubuntu like Lubuntu or Xubuntu, or even Linux Mint if you wanted a more traditional productivity focused layout. If you're just not liking Ubuntu's GNOME based layout, you can go for Linux Mint. And so based on all the reviews I've had, I guess people like the stability, people like all the tools that are available for MX tools, like administration tools, I guess. If you're an MX user and you really like this OS, please let me know in the comments below. Why do you use it? Why do you like it? What makes it better than other distros? Why would you prefer MX Linux than going for an Ubuntu derivative, for example? Alright, but if you liked this video and you found it helpful, please give it a like, please share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.